where are the low value men? Like, what are all the low value men up to during these trying times? Because the high value men, I know they're around. They won't shut the fuck up. Low value men, I have not heard a word out of. I'm starting to think I'm on their side. I think I want one of those. I want a low value man. They don't make podcasts. I haven't seen one low value man make a podcast. Do they not know how to use microphones? Maybe that's a good thing. That's hot. All right, I've never seen a man use a microphone for good.
Until now, everybody buckle up. It's low value mail time with your host, Danny Polishchuk. What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to an all-new episode of Low Value Mail with your host, me, on this October 10th, 2023, the year of our Lord. As I always say, we'll figure it out. We'll figure out which one it is. And this is episode number 80. That has no significance of anything, but 80 episodes. Not bad, huh, Scroats? Anyways, with us this evening, we have Clint Russell. He's going to be joining us very shortly. He's a former entrepreneur turned liberty advocate. He's the host of the Liberty Lockdown podcast, co-host of Tower Gang. Hopefully there aren't going to be people calling in to fight you. If you guys remember that from the Ryan Dawson episode. Anyways, not important. But there's a lot going on right now in the world. And, we got some shit to talk about. And it is interesting to hear about it because obviously, a lot of war drums are getting beaten at the moment. But, generally the libertarians are the ones who are the least party of war. So it'll be interesting to talk to him. He'll be coming up very shortly. Guys, the phone lines, someone's already calling. Guys, the phone lines are not open. I don't know if you're just doing this to ding me a penny. Haven't my people been through enough? Just kidding. But anyways, before we get started, before I bring Clint on, please do me a favor. Like and subscribe. Do all the things. Help a brother out. A brother in humanity is what I mean. But yeah, anyways, help me out. If you're listening to this on Spotify, leave a review, or on Apple, whatever, just do one of those things. And if you actually really want to do me a favor, even a double favor, that's a silver tier favor. This is a gold tier favor. I was just watching that telemarketers documentary, pretty wild shit. But anyways, if you want to do me a gold tier favor, sign up for the gold power pack, become a patron, sign up. For $5 a month, you get ad-free audio. So if you listen to this podcast, if you're just a listener because you don't catch it live, you listen to it after the fact, and you get those pesky ads. Who likes them? Well, for $5 a month, you can get no ads. You can help me eventually get a fucking producer, which would be great because if you watch this show, God knows I need a producer, but it is not in the budget at the moment because... I don't really make any money off of doing this at all. So, and it would be appreciated. And you get tons of stuff if you be a Patreon, but more importantly, you support me in the show. Or if you don't have any money, that's also fine. Go tell a friend. Because I know there's a lot of you spurgy autistic people who watch the show who like talk radio just like me. I'm not the only person. I can't be the only person. I hope I'm not the only person. So anyways, if you enjoy the show, you don't have any money, that's fine. Go tell one of your goddamn friends. It would very much help me out and would be much appreciated. Next week on Low Value Mail. And it helps me get all these guests and stuff. It helps me with a lot of stuff. But anyways, next week, Low Value Mail, we have none other than James Corbett from the Corbett Report joining us. He's only going to be on for an hour. I don't know what I'm going to do with the second hour. We'll figure that out. But he's, I've told a few people about this, and they're like, really? I'm like, yeah. He lives in Japan, fellow Canadian. But But he'll be coming on, so that'll be exciting, but we only have him for an hour. Also, tomorrow night, new episode of The Bathhouse, live from the Stand Comedy Club at 10:30, the most depraved call-in show. This might be the most depraved call. I don't know. Anyways, it's fun, though. If you've never caught an episode of The Bathhouse, it's like this, except we don't talk about anything, and it's just comedians shooting the shit, and it's a fun time. And then also rejoice, because I've been away. This is the first episode in like 3 weeks. I was at Skankfest, got COVID like 3 times minimum. We got an after show. We're going to do an after show tonight. It's open to the public. The after show's for everybody, but you can only post links if you are a patron. So please consider doing that. And that's how you see all these people who have these wrenches. If you want a wrench, you can become a patron or whatever. All right. Oh, and one last thing. If you live anywhere near Saratoga Springs, New York City, Saratoga Springs, New York, I'll be headlining the Comedy Works in Saratoga Springs not this weekend, but the weekend after that, 20th, 21st, something like that. Those 3 shows, Friday, Saturday. If you live near there, I was just there like 4 months ago, but I'm coming back. If you came to see me then, don't come now. But if you didn't, if you missed me, hell yeah, come on back. I mean, you can come back. I got lots of new jokes, but I got some jokes that are the same. So if you don't care about that stuff, if you do stuff like going to, whatever, whatchamacallit, Skankfest, because some people at Skankfest didn't realize, I don't know, not to get too inside because we want to start the show, but at Skankfest, there were so many comedy shows, and then people were like, a lot of the comedians were complaining where they're like, there needs to be a sign up being like, you're going to see the same jokes. You can't just expect us to just be cranking out jokes at that clip. But anyways, I am done talking shit. Without further ado, let's bring on the man of the hour. See, if I had a producer, I wouldn't be currently fumbling around in this thing. Oh, Clint, how you doing? Almost there, and there I am. All right, welcome to the show. Clint Russell, how you doing, man? You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Danny. What's going on?
Excellent. Brother? You sound buttery, man. I don't know what I don't know what that setup you got there, but
I'm just born with these pipes, homie.
Dude, you got that's a buttery voice you got right there. How you doing, man?
I'm good. I forgot to mention for my bio, I also recently started co-hosting a show with Luke Rutkowski.
Oh, nice. I love Luke. Luke's the man.
He's of James Corbett kind of fame level in my opinion. So it's very cool.
No, I'm gonna. Luke is on my my list. He's gonna be coming on the show for sure.
Beautiful.
I was just in Miami hanging out with him. Not like just in Miami, but I was in Miami. You live there now, right?
Yeah.
So
I'm in
you're
North
Miami.
Did
you live there? Did you move? How recently did you move there?
21. Okay. I'm born and raised San Diego. I call myself a California Gavin Newsom refugee. You know.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of you out there. You're not rare in that regard. So you just basically COVID just essentially COVID happened, and then you were like, "Fuck this."
Yeah. So just a brief recap for
give a little for people who don't know who you are.
Right.
I'm sure Ryan Dawson will be calling in shortly to fight you, but until that happens,
well, you'll get a kick out of this too. I'm the only one that hasn't talked shit to Ryan Dawson. Like I'm good with the guy, but my gang is extremely vitriolic, and he's a pretty hard ass character himself. So they're fighting, and I'm just being sucked into it. I have no dog in this fight, but I appreciate that our audience is trying to create fist fights amongst.
Yeah, well, I don't know if because I had him on the show like probably.
I saw it.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I was gonna say, and then he showed up like literally 2 hours late to the show. I was like, I honestly was like, what the fuck? He didn't even say anything to me. It
sounds like Dawson, brother.
Yeah. Like he's nothing, like no messages, nothing. He's just like, I just get it. He goes, he just shows up in the middle of the show on Zoom, and I go, all right. And then all your boys were calling in to fight him. What exactly happened? We might as well clear that up. What happened between you guys? From what I understand, because he's obviously banned from like everything. You guys just gave him a little platform or something? Yeah, you might want to maybe step a little forward. You're like super, I don't know if the light's super bright. You look like
I killed it.
You look like a Martian a bit. Yeah, that's way better.
All
Yeah,
right.
there you go. There you go. But yeah, basically, what, you guys just let him come on your show and then he turned on you, or how does that work?
Well, so yeah, he was banned from everywhere. He goes very hard against the state of Israel. And I had him on Liberty Lockdown, like, I don't even know, 2 years ago. He's absolutely brilliant when it comes to analyzing, 9/11 and a bunch of, Epstein and all these other topics that are like not they're third rails, even on the internet. Like, you're really not supposed to talk about them. And during the height of the censorship era, he was one of the first people to get really deplatformed from everywhere. So I had him on my show like a year ago, or maybe 2 years ago now, and we had a great conversation. I've got nothing but appreciation for the guy. And then Tower Gang doing what they do, they start to just kind of needle him here and there. He's also like a very mockable character because he's incredibly I guess you could say full of himself. Like,
Yeah.
he really
it's the first. He was episode, I want to say 78. It was the first episode where there was fights challenged on air. So
yes. That's kind of what happens wherever Ryan goes, it seems like. So I think he kind of creates the hatred for himself, but my guys don't back down from anything. So Tower Gang goes hard in the paint, and I'm not at all surprised that they're now clashing, and I'm getting dragged into it because I'm always like the peacemaker type. And
right, so you'll referee the fight.
Yeah. I mean, if Dawson wants to fight me, we can do it. I'm
sorry,
the biggest...
everybody. Actually, sorry to cut you off. The phone lines are not open. I accidentally had the thing flipped on. But we will open them shortly, so we can discuss this. But anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, my guys in Tower Gang are all like little baby men. I'm like the only large guy of the bunch, so like I feel like I'd have to probably end up fighting to defend all these guys. So I'm prepared to if I have to. But yeah, just to give a brief backdrop to who I am. Second generation libertarian. My dad ran for Congress in the 90s under the Libertarian banner. He discovered Rothbard and Mises and all these brilliant philosophers in the 1970s. I was born in the 80s. And then I grew up, kind of in the post 9/11 era, became very, very red pilled as to kind of how our state works against us, unfortunately. And then when the COVID era happened, I became I started a mortgage company in like 2000, I think it was 12, was very successful, brokered a couple $100 million in private money loans. And then 2020 happened, the lockdowns happened. As a fiduciary for my investors, I can no longer deploy their capital in a prudent fashion or a safe fashion. So I shut down my company. I started my podcast, Liberty Lockdown, and I railed against the government. And then I became good friends with Dave Smith and Tom Woods and all of my heroes. And it's been a crazy journey.
Yeah, and so we got connected actually because I had the Russian libertarian on. That's how we initially, right? I had Mikhail Svetov on. And I think you had, I don't know how much you remember, but because you're basically like Russian libertarianism and American libertarianism you were like, he's like, they're pretty similar, but I remember you said that they're like, I don't know if you remember much because this is a while ago, but I just remember you were like,
I loved the interview, but I cannot remember what he said that I strongly disagreed with. But there was some things that I really
but he said, because I remember him saying like it was similar to that, like they had a similar fracture because I guess the Libertarian Party in America had like he's like we had the exact same thing where we had this kind of like similar fracturing or whatever. And so, anyways, though that's not important. That's just kind of how we connected. So you're a member of the Mises Caucus, I guess, and we've had I think I want to say you're maybe the second, third libertarian we've had on. Now
you had on Kaufman too, right?
Exactly, yeah. So Jeremy, and he just got kicked out, right? He got
kicked out of the Free State Project.
So you're, as a libertarian, you're not
very free state.
Yeah. So you're not like moving. You're like, nah, Miami's where it's at. I'm not going to fucking cold ass New Hampshire.
I mean, I do not love the weather of New Hampshire. Obviously, I love the people there. And up until they purged Jeremy Kaufman, I was a big fan of the Free State Project. At this point, I consider them to be a dubious organization because I think that he is one of the most brilliant people I know. He's incredibly gifted and hardworking. He's also a very provocative messenger, but I think he comes from a really beautiful place. I think he's a phenomenal libertarian and a human being. Yeah. So it's very disappointing to me to see what has transpired over there, and I hope it can be resolved.
Yeah, I really liked him. So, I mean, you guys are safe to say that the libertarians are one of their main tenets is anti-war. That's
Yes.
right. Safe to say. Which
Well,
is
non-interventionism is the preferable way to put it.
non-interventionism. Obviously, yes. Like if you were forced, like if someone attacks you,
Exactly.
like if someone were to invade America, like obviously you guys are going to be like,
we're going.
Yeah,
we're going in the paint.
Yeah, you guys will go as hard as anybody. You're just
Yeah.
saying like in terms of other countries, you're like we don't want to meddle in the affairs of other countries, which is obviously a good tie-in right now because you obviously know a lot about the Russia-Ukraine conflict, and then this past weekend, obviously war broke out in Israel with Hamas and Palestine and all this stuff. So I guess because there's a lot of people, a lot of obviously like conservatives who are, and Democrats or whatever, who are really itching for war right now. I'd say the Democrats probably more so, but still
it's a race now.
It's a race, right? But so how? I guess my question is like, do you see us getting to the point? Because obviously, like now this is like a two-front war. I see some people saying like, if we get in with China and Taiwan, like if that escalates, we could be looking at a legitimately like a World War III, and that's been like kind of thrown about for, I guess, the last year and a half, right? Like with this whole World War III rhetoric, where they're like, yeah, it might be
ever since Russia's invasion.
Since Russia, but like there's a lot of not credible, but you could see how if Russia could somehow have like had a hand in this Israeli thing because it seems beneficial to them.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so I'm just wondering. Well, I guess what are your thoughts on?
Man, I have a lot.
Let's hear 'em.
Yeah, so ever since Hamas committed some truly atrocious acts against the Israelis in southern Israel on Friday night, my time. I don't know what day it was over in Israel, but
it was, I think, Saturday morning, I believe.
Yeah.
It's like 6
I was actually at Timcast IRL live in Miami, and I was like one of the special guests. And
were you on a boat with Alex Stein?
I didn't go on the boat. I did that in January. They had it capped limit, so I was like 14th man on a 13-man boat. But it happens. But we did have Alex Stein on our show. By the way, the show that I do with Luke is We Are Change. We've had on bunch of awesome guests, Carl Benjamin, things like that. But so, anyways, I wake up Saturday morning and I see these videos that are too like just totally surreal. You see a rave that's happening, and you have like militants that are paragliding.
The paragliding thing. Did you see the commercial? The paraglider, like it's like like the Navy or like the U.S. Army commercials that'll run during like a football game. And like there's like legitimately like someone dug one up of like a Hamas like.
Wait, it's real? It's a real ad?
I could be wrong, like, but the way the footage was shot, you're like, this wasn't like this was shot with like high quality cameras. Like, I think that was a real.
Sounds like, it sounds like a Boys Cast parody.
Honestly, it does, right? Like, I saw that, and I actually saw that. And I was like, I can't remember. I was like traveling somewhere, so I just like wasn't able to deal with it. But I was like, shit, I should like make like an overdub, some like fake overdub of because it seemed too unbelievable because they're firing up these like. I don't even know what you would call them. It's almost like what they had in like the Everglades, like those giant fan boats.
Yeah, I think they're called power gliders.
Or power gliders, and they're like there's two of them. Like looks like some Wright brothers shit. Like
it's like they're discovering flight in the year 2023 of
like
our
that's
Lord.
what it seems like or whatever. But then you're like, no, this is like a coordinated thing.
It was. All right, so basically, for the past, I guess, 90 hours now, I've been doing nothing but studying this topic because as we, for your audience's sake, we had originally scheduled for me to come on and talk about Russia-Ukraine because that has been something, I've debated Vosh and Destiny and a bunch of like high profile people, Krasenstein brothers, on this issue. But this is more.
You debated them in person?
I debated Destiny in person.
No, Destiny, I saw that, but Krasenstein's or no?
No, that was a Twitter space.
Do you have to do them both at once?
Well, that was actually on the Russia collusion and Joe Biden's corruption narrative. I did that with Dave Smith against the Krasensteins. So it was 2-on-2.
Oh, was that the one that like didn't get recorded? Was that the thing where like afterwards and people were like, "Sorry, we didn't record that"? I remember
No.
Dave did some space, and then like I remember seeing Dave.
Oh, yeah,
he goes,
yeah.
Hey, like I guess we were supposed to record that, and I don't know, we didn't press the button that records it.
That was the one where he announced that he wasn't running for president.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. But no, the Krasenstein one, if people want to check it out, Dave Smith and I took on the Krasensteins with Josie, the redheaded libertarian, on her Twitter spaces. It's on Liberty Lockdown on the RSS feed because it's audio only.
Yeah.
So if anybody wants to check it out, it's a fun one. Those guys are completely full of shit. It's hysterical. By the way, I saw you got demonetized today, so is it okay if I'm somewhat profane or no?
Yeah, you can do whatever you want. So I've had a weird like weekend. I basically got kicked off of Instagram 2 days ago for I made a joke about which I thought was a clever joke personally. Everybody was calling, they were like, oh, this is Israel's 9/11. Essentially my joke was like, that's what I call the first one. And
that was a fucking great joke.
Yeah, I thought that was a good joke. I'm like, it's just a joke. And then I posted it on Instagram, and then I like logged into Instagram the next morning, and I'm just like, they're like, your account's suspended. It's like 12-year-old account, Instagram account. Like, I couldn't believe it. And then I appealed it, lost, and then I got it back. But then anyways, I've on this page, this is like the podcast YouTube, so this is monetized. You can still say whatever though, I don't really care. But okay. Like, you know, obviously within reason. But my main like comedy YouTube account, where this show used to be on until I got a strike for like literally nothing 3 months ago. But what actually happened is I got a defamation notice from the World Economic Forum for a video I did, or for an
You're
episode.
kidding me.
No, I actually got a defamation notice via YouTube from the World Economic Forum saying that the episode, you know that guy Johnny Vedmore? You know who he is? He's like Whitney Webb's former
I know Whitney, I don't know Johnny.
Anyways, it was like her ex like baby daddy or whatever, but he's like, he knows lots of shit. I know they're like have some whatever issues now, but he came on, we were talking all about Klaus Schwab, and then I get this defamation notice, but they're like, the only thing is that it's just not available in 5 countries. That was the only like penalty, was to go like 5 European countries, you can't view this episode. And then 5 days later, I posted some short on my YouTube page, and I get a strike. And then I appeal it, like, and it was for like terrorism or some shit. I lose. Anyways, demonetized. Then my strike went away after 3 months, remonetized, and then I just like went to look at it today, and it was just gone again.
Damn, dude.
So I don't know.
So you're in good graces for now. All right. Yeah, well, then I'll keep it somewhat safe. Yeah. So I basically I've spent the past 4 or 5 days, whatever it is now, just deep diving this issue because I as a libertarian and as a non-interventionist, I want to be able to speak on this somewhat intelligently. So I've just been researching it constantly, trying to figure out what's happened. Obviously, I had some. And you're also
from the country that is the most interventionist, I would say. Is that safe to say? That there's no country that intervenes more than...
Oh, it's not even close.
Yeah, and I mean, granted, does America technically have the largest military?
Yeah, by many magnitudes.
But not
in terms of troops.
Not in terms of troops, right? But in terms of like firepower. Like how do they
budget?
Like
in terms of budget,
it's just like far and away the biggest.
I think it's like we have the same budget for our military as the 5 biggest other nations combined. Wow. I believe. Wow. Yeah. So it ain't close.
Yeah, it's not close, but not the same amount of troops but budget. So anyways, yeah. So I guess that is kind of the why they're constantly intervening. But anyways, go ahead. Sorry, I cut you off.
Yeah, no, I've just been studying this nonstop and trying to figure it out. And basically, what I've concluded is that it's incredibly fucking complicated, man. Like it's so complicated what's transpired as to like who has the rightful claim to Palestine, and like it basically the history of it kind of begins in 1947 and then it spans all the way up until today.
I mean, that's just like it starts in 1947, I guess, almost in this context, but even still, like
no, it goes for thousands of years.
Like people are like, yeah, it's like they've been dueling it out for thousands of years.
Yeah, well, when I start talking about it, people are like, no, you have it all wrong. It's like the Canaanites, and they start they start bringing up.
Well, the problem is that a lot of people with like in terms of like indigenous, because the argument here is indigenous rights essentially, right. And you go, well, like what's the point? Like where's the starting point? I guess because in America they don't say like, oh, it was when the United States became a country, or like it's they were there first. I don't know. Right. I guess. Well, so anyways, it seems like somewhat wishy-washy in that regard.
It is. It's very wishy-washy. I mean, so basically, the reason I'm giving this preface is because I want your audience to know, I'm kind of learning along with you guys as to what the reality of the situation is. But I can say definitively, it is not as simple as people are being told it is. They're not. It is not as simple as Israel good, Palestine bad, or Palestinians bad. Hamas, I think, is clearly a terrorist kind of militia. I think there's a terrible misconception as to what Hamas is. People think of it like as if it's like the Palestinian army. Like they're not
the government. It's their literal.
No. Hamas is. Oh, I mean, they. You're right in terms of their parliament and in terms of the seats. They have the majority of the seats, but they don't really have a government because they don't have autonomy. They don't have the right to have a military. So this is basically an illegal militia that exists within Palestine under the purview or under like the overarching umbrella government of Israel. So my conclusion.
Well, I don't think. Well, I could be wrong on this, but like I thought in the whole 2005 thing, like when Israel left, right? They go like here, like you. Obviously, they have all sorts of issues in terms of like the blockades and whatever, all that stuff. But like they were like you govern yourself, and then they had an election, right, in 2005.
They did, but they still keep the. I mean, if you say you can have an election, but you can't have an open economy, an open border, open transfer of people wherever you want to go. They have two exits, in and out. One that goes into Egypt and one that goes into Israel. Yeah. It's like, can you really say that they have any sort like to me? I mean,
they're blocked on. That's the thing. They're blocked on both sides. Like it's not.
Yeah, to me, it looks like an apartheid. Like that's the vibe it gives me. And I know people will get upset for me for saying that, but that's what it looks like.
And that is I'm probably, I definitely like think that it's, unfortunate definitely what's going on there. Like it's such a tough position, but I don't know. I've said this forever. Like it's one of those things. I don't ever see this getting resolved.
Well, I tend to agree with you.
Because of like one of the main things too is like, they don't like in their, whatever Hamas's charter is one of their main things is they're just like, they're not willing to necessarily, as far as I understand, negotiate. They're just like, there just cannot be Israel, and you're like, okay, well, that's just not going to happen.
Well, that's their perspective, and it's it's a supremacist one, but really the current leadership of Israel has kind of that same mentality towards the Palestinians themselves. So it's like you have these two intractable forces that both kind of have this supremacy and total annihilation of your enemy type of worldview. Now, I'm not saying all of the Israelis feel this way. There's many people in Israel that don't feel this way. There's also Palestinians that live within Israel and coexist fine. So it's more the government that I have a critique for than it is Israeli.
Yeah. I mean, for sure, it's like there's so many people who their have shitty governments. They're like, I don't.
Yeah, I'm one of them.
Yeah, exactly.
I live in America.
Exactly.
But there's this tendency, if you critique Israel, people take it as if you're critiquing Judaism, and like that's not what I'm doing. So I just want to make that clear.
For sure. That's understandable.
But so here's one. Yeah, just real quick. The interesting thing though that I have kind of figured out about this is that it was the Fatah Party, which was like the spinoff of the old PLO, which is the Palestinian Liberation Organization under Arafat. They looked as if they would probably take that election that you were just talking about in 2006. But what's fascinating about it is that it was actually Mossad that is now proven to have been funding Hamas to assist them, not just in their creation, but in taking parliament. And then on the flip side of that, it was like the US and Israel at the last second, they tried to flip it and tried to go the other direction. And then they basically just concluded, well, you know what? We don't have to go along with the two-state solution if in the international worldview, they're led by Hamas, which is this terrorist organization. Why would they ever get sort of, international recognition? They would never look to be legitimate. So we can continue to kind of treat them as this apartheid surrogate state of ours, and the international world will never really balk at it because, well, they're terrorists. They don't they shouldn't have their own nation. It'd be like giving it to ISIS. But the reality is that there's 2 million people that are not Hamas that live in Gaza, that live in a 140 square mile area, and that's kind of comparable to like Manhattan or something
probably
like that.
Manhattan, which is
but they don't have the technology to build skyscrapers.
Yeah, for sure.
So
I mean, there's too many people in Manhattan, and
Well,
even
exactly.
without it. Yeah.
But I'm just saying it's even more dense because you don't have the vertical build that you do in New York. So and then they're also blockaded, so their economy is terrible. There's over 50% unemployment rate for the adults. For the adults, I believe. And their economy is just horrifically bad. I mean, I'm not trying to take all of personal responsibility away. Like they ought to be doing better for themselves if they can too. But it definitely, given that you have a blockade put on them, a lot of people have been saying, well, Clint, you don't believe in foreign aid, so how can you demand, or how can you call it a war crime for Israel to withhold food and water and electricity and rations from the Palestinians in Gaza after this attack? And the reason is because it's essentially a penal colony. Like they don't have a functioning economy because of the treatment that they've been receiving with this blockade over the 15 years. So it's like, how can you just rip it away because these bastards in Hamas committed this terrible act, but you have 2 million people that, yes, some of them support Hamas, but a huge percentage of them don't.
I believe it is right now. It's pretty 50-50. It is like,
but you gotta keep in mind, man, it's a million of the 2 million are children.
Yeah. Well, that's what I always said.
How can we say that the majority of them support Hamas? They're kids.
Well, that's the crazy thing is you're like, if you have to assume that a lot of these people who are free to, because I heard someone say, which I thought was a good point, where you're like, if Americans were in a similar position as the Palestinians, you're like, they'd probably be doing something similar, right?
Yeah.
Like, unfortunately, yes. My opinion is that they just have a terrible government who does not really have their best interests at heart, and are not really like good faith negotiators.
In the polling in 2006, it looked as if Hamas was going to lose, but the Palestinian people were so abused by their own government at the time. They went for these kind of like zealots because they wanted to purge. They wanted to purge the corruption. They didn't necessarily want to be ran by terrorists. They just wanted to purge the corruption. And no, it did not work. What a shocker. And then on top of this, you add in the other layer that really Hamas and the government of the Palestinians currently is a proxy for Iran. But then, Israel is kind of our proxy. We're kind of their proxy. We commit heinous acts to all of their neighbors, all of these other Muslim nations. Israel is tremendously outnumbered because they have all these other nations, the Arab nations, that are like, they don't view them very kindly. Some of them have, really genocidal perspectives towards the Israelis. Yeah. So it's like, I sympathize with all sides in this, and that makes me everybody's enemy. That makes me like, everybody hates me when I talk about this, but I'm just telling you guys the truth.
Yeah. I mean, I am fairly sympathetic. I am fairly sympathetic to the Palestinian cause, just in the sense that you're like, you have said this government that's kind of not operating on the best interest, because I'm sure they've had multiple options to have some sort of deal. They just kind of don't want to take it, or at least the deal that's given to them.
Well, see, that's another misconception, is like, they supposedly, if you talk to the Israelis, they will say, or the Israeli leadership, they will say that they offered, this two-state solution in the year 2000 to Arafat, and he denied it. But then there's a autobiography, I forget who it was, but it was like a State Department representative in America, who says the Israelis never gave them an offer. It didn't happen. Yeah. So I don't know what to believe.
Yeah. It's hard to say. I think they probably there's something available to them, but the problem is they're contesting like the city of Jerusalem, which is like such a contested area, because they essentially just all would like it. They all like it for their own. So I want to actually talk about. We're gonna open the phone lines very shortly, but so I want to talk about like the Russia tie-in here, because I think you kind of are like well versed on that.
Big time.
As well. So do you see like any potential here that this is like any sort of coordinated like effort by Russia, like any sort of involvement?
Well, there's no proof at this point, but I'm always in the cui bono game, like who benefits, and it certainly benefits Russia to have the West broadly, but more specifically America, having to split its potential forces if there is to be a NATO war against Russia. Like, obviously, they would like them to have multiple fronts. They would obviously like to have the Iranians involved and have their back. They would like to get China on their side. At this point, it looks as if that's all happening, which is what gives me tremendous pause, is that America is in such, moral and cultural and economic decline, that I don't think we could probably win a hot war on the ground against Russia one-on-one. I mean, if it was defensive, we could certainly win it. But in terms of an offensive, especially given that they have over 6,000 nuclear warheads that are extraordinarily advanced, I don't think we can win that war. So I don't want to fight that war.
Yeah, I feel like you almost have to X out nukes at that point, because I'm like, isn't that just, at that point, if we're using nukes, isn't that just kind of game over for everybody?
Well, it is, but that's the problem, is that if Putin believes that his back is against the wall and he's going to die anyways, well, then truly cataclysmic things can transpire potentially. And on top of that, it's like, once you have the order that's put in place that if you see a nuke fired, that we fire all of ours, because that's always been the mutually assured destruction deterrent protocol. Well, who's to say that there isn't an accidental, a misread of the radar like that? We almost had that happen in the 1980s. Right. We almost all died. It was very, very close. So I'm very nervous about the fact that we continue to, just give basically a blank check, as well as training and arming to the Ukrainians. And so the reason that I think that there's a lot of similarities in these two fronts is that there's a lot of genuine grievance on both sides. And this is, again, why I get in trouble and everybody hates me on this topic too. But I'm just telling you the truth. In Ukraine, I'm sure you're familiar, but there was a civil war in the Donbass region for 8 years. And that was a predominantly Russian speaking area. So there was an imperative or a moral justification for Russia to intervene on behalf of kind of their people. At least that's their pitch on it.
Yeah, I mean, the people there were like, we're Russian.
Yeah,
essentially. Yeah. I mean, my family's technically from Ukraine, but they're like, we're Russian. They're like, they're literally that. Like,
yeah. Oh, so you're telling me that's not Russian propaganda when they say that, huh?
No.
I mean, yeah.
I didn't even know until I was asking my grandmother about Crimea. Like, remember when they first annexed Crimea? Yep. And then my grandmother's like, yeah, they're all Russian though. Like all those people who they're like annexing, who you're being told like they don't want to be annexed. They're like, they do want to be annexed.
They do. They gave them a referendum. And it was like 90% now.
Yeah, but why would you wouldn't want to give up the land? Like if you're Ukraine, you're like, I don't want to give up any land. Like,
well, of course,
right?
Of course, and that's the dispute, is like basically the people there, they don't have autonomy over their own leadership. They don't get to decide. Like there was actually a referendum that had UN monitors. They confirmed that it was legitimate. I believe that it was legitimate. Whether or not it was manipulated to some extent, I'm sure it was. But I mean, it was far and wide. They wanted to be added into Russia. They wanted it. So, and just to prove the case that it's also legitimate on the ground, it was bloodless. It's called a coup de main. In 2014, when they took Crimea, there was there's some reports that say there was 4 people that died. Some people say there was no one that died. So it's quite clear to me that Ukraine didn't have kind of a moral support from do people there to prevent Russia from taking it. So they did. Right. And now. Oh, sorry.
We got a call. Do you want to take a call or do you want to?
Of course. Yeah.
Okay. One moment, please, while I take the first call of the night. Phones are open, everybody. By the way, hello. Thanks for calling Low Value Mail. Who am I speaking with?
This is Devil.
Hey, one moment, please, while I patch you through. And I believe you are on. Can you hear him? Clint, can you hear him?
No, I can't.
I can hear you. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah. I hear.
Go. All right. You are on. Oh, sorry. One moment, please. I screwed this up. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I got a question. What do you think of the Samson option?
Yeah,
you know about the Samson option? Have you heard?
That's where what they just option? Isn't that where they like Israel blows up the whole like world essentially?
Everything, the whole thing. Doesn't matter. No, there's nothing. There's nothing. You allow yourselves to you're carte blanche. You're killing everybody, and that's not right. That's not right. I don't care where you're at.
I agree.
It's not right. I'm an American. I believe in America. I believe in Israel. But like there's limits to everybody's power, and Israel is no exception here. So I worry that what they've done is set a precedent.
Yeah.
I worry that they're setting precedent for global conflict.
Yeah, I've heard the Samson option thing. Do we know that that's for sure? Sorry, everybody. I'm just resizing this whole thing. If everybody's watching, they're probably like, "What the fuck is going on?" Is there?
No, I do not.
Do we know for a fact that that's actually true? The Samson option thing. I've heard it. I've heard it brought up. I've never seen it other than what's that?
You can look it up on the Wikipedia. You can look it up everywhere. Come on.
The Samson option you can look up on Wikipedia. I can't tell if this person's doing a bit, like a voice on me right here.
He sounds
what
like
the hell are you talking about?
He sounds like a New York Jew, and I respect it.
Yeah.
Fucking just can you fucking get over yourself for like 5 minutes and like just look it up, man. Good Lord.
All right, the Samson option.
I'm not saying I never heard of it. I'm saying
the Samson option is the name that some military analysts and authors have given to Israel's deterrent strategy of massive retaliation with nuclear weapons as a last resort against a country whose military has invaded and or destroyed much of Israel.
Okay.
In my friend groups, I've talked about it ad nauseum. We talked about it. Like it's not a abstract concept, and that scares the shit out of me. I don't want that. I don't need that.
Yeah.
Nobody wants that. Obviously, I don't live there. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, that is pretty. That's essentially a pretty wild ass. It says according to who was the mastermind behind it was unlikely Israel could have even targeted Europe. This was in what 2000.
It's the end of things. Like that's the Christian idea of the end of fucking things. And who would be pushing the button? Jews. And you know what they would say about that. You know what I'm saying? Like I have friends on either side of the religious spectrum, mostly Jews, obviously, but I have a couple of Christian friends, and they've all said the same thing. Well, what if it comes down to it? Would you push the button? Would he? Would they? And they're all worried about America. They were worried about Trump pushing the button. And now we're in this position where it's like, oh, it's a problem. It's just a problem. It's weird.
Yeah. I've heard it.
If I defend Israel, I'm a sadist. I'm a monster. If I defend Hamas, I'm a sadist. I'm a monster. I don't defend Hamas. It's a fucking evil organization. Palestinians, I understand what the problem is. I don't really like them, just on the surface. The whole premise is kind of murky at best. But I'll be honest, who's the winner? There's no winner here. There's no winner, and it's never been that way. There's never been a winner.
Let me make one other clarification too, because you said that Hamas is their government. The election in 2006 was the last time that they had.
It was the last, yeah, for sure.
So when you realize that
elections have consequences.
Yeah, well, really bad consequences if you can never vote them out. But my point is, so the half of the population wasn't even alive when those people were voted into power. They weren't even alive, bro. So it's like, so for people to hold the current, children accountable, it's crazy. It's like probably 30% or less of the population that's actually alive today in Gaza are responsible for that election of Hamas.
But I mean, that's probably a big part of the problem, though, is because it's not like who's supposed to force an election. Who's supposed to force an election?
People under Netanyahu has been in power for how long now? Think about that.
Oh, he's been in power.
I would say the same thing.
Almost the same amount of time, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
It's insane. It's not fair for reasonable people to make snap judgment decisions. And
the only thing I'll say about Netanyahu,
complex problem.
I guess, however you want to, how you personally feel about it, but I think it's fairly agreed upon that Israel is an actual democracy, and whether you disagree, he was voted in. It's not like Russia. Like, he has been voted in. I don't know how he keeps managing.
Oh, like the most voted in president in the United States. He's so voted in. He's super in. He's very in.
He's the most in.
Yeah, he's the most in.
Well, but let me just say too, the Samson option is exactly what we function off of. Mutually assured destruction is the Samson option. You're saying we see a nuke from Russia, we fire our arsenal. If Russia sees a nuke from us, they fire their arsenal. That's world ending or close enough to it that it doesn't make much of a difference. So I don't agree with any of it. I think that we need to work towards global nuclear.
That is a good point. That's essentially what the United States does. But isn't everybody having nukes essentially nobody having nukes? Like, isn't that?
Well, that's the argument. If you assume that mutually assured destruction is foolproof, but it's not, because we're talking about human beings and the worst human beings on earth, which are a political class that has that ultimate decision making. I don't want that at all. I don't trust Joe Biden or Donald Trump to have his hand on on 3,000 plus of the most advanced murderous devices that have ever been created. Are you out of your fucking mind? It's insane.
Listen, I don't trust my wife with a finger on the button. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Samson option really seems like something a chick would think of. By the way, that seems like just taking my ball and going home. We're just nuking the whole place.
I put my finger on your wife's button. You know what I mean, caller?
All right,
I feel like this is a character. So
all right,
shit.
knucklehead. All right, thank you. I got to say what I wanted.
Thanks, man.
He sounded like if you ever listen to the Jerky Boys.
Yeah, dude, for real.
Saul Rosenberg or whatever. But yeah, that's what it sounded like. But I was thinking, like, because everybody's like, man, Biden is the worst guy to have, because everybody's like, man, you want Trump and nobody would fuck with Trump. And then part of me is like, maybe you do want this like senile dude who you're like is just in charge of the nukes, and you're just like, good God. Like who? Like he's almost like more of a wild card somehow. Like in the worst, like definitely. In a bad way, right? All right, let's take another call. Hello, thanks for calling Low Value Mail. Who am I speaking with? Jay, one moment, please, while we patch you through. All right, Jay, you're on with Clint. Go ahead.
Hey, Clint. Hey, Danny. It's good to talk to you guys.
Likewise.
I just wanted to ask you guys a quick question about Ukraine. With Anthony Blinken coming out and telling everybody basically that we're winning, everything's fine, how far can they kick the can down the road? Eventually that can's going to hit the wall when Ukraine's completely defeated. How far can they do this? Or how long can they keep on lying like this, I guess?
Yeah. I don't even know where do we stand currently with the Russia-Ukraine conflict? Like, do we have a consensus of who's winning, who's losing?
Well, I mean, it depends on what you think, Russia's goals are. Like, basically, what's happened so far is that Russia has created this land bridge from Russia all the way through to Crimea, and it is incredibly reinforced. And they just bomb the hell out of the Ukrainians every time they try and take an inch. So, which is why their counteroffensive has been a complete, grinder. It's wasted tens and tens of thousands of Ukrainian lives for nothing. They've gotten nothing for it. It's tragic. But the issue is that, like, if not for our armaments, if not for our funding, Ukraine is insolvent. Like they can't continue to defend themselves. Not to mention they're also running out of fighting age, males that have any capacity to fight. So they have already put all of their women. They have required all of their women up to 60 years old, except for those that are infirmed, to register to basically be drafted. So that, I mean, they're getting down to the bottom here, folks. And on top of that, you have over 1 million people that have fled, well, millions of people that have fled. There's estimates that hundreds of thousands are already dead, as many as 500,000 by some estimates. It's hell. It's terrible, and they are not winning that war.
And this Israel conflict probably doesn't help anything.
Well,
not at all.
I can't imagine Ukraine was super pumped about finding this out.
It doesn't, because what happened is Matt Gaetz came in. He kicked out Kevin McCarthy because he so desperately wanted to stop the funding to Ukraine.
What exactly? Can you explain that to me? I was like on a bender basically when that all happened at Skankfest.
Hell yeah!
And I kind of I was very vaguely following what happened exactly. What was like I'm also Canadian too, so I have, of course, multiple deniability here. But like, what exactly was the mechanism that got Kevin McCarthy kicked out?
So they had a single motion rule that, like, you could actually move against the speaker. The way they got that is when McCarthy was running to be speaker, if you recall, they had to go through like multiple votes. It took I don't even know if it was multiple days or just all
Isn't that
day
the
or
shit where
something.
they're going to like 2 a.m. and all that stuff?
Right.
Yeah,
exactly. So as a concession, the Freedom Caucus, under kind of Gates' direction, got this addendum put in there that if they ever move against him, that they can force a vote to basically reauthorize him as speaker or to try and oust him. And little did we know, I actually met Matt Gaetz on the Friday that I was talking about in Timcast Miami, and I asked him, because I only had a couple minutes to talk to him in person, and I said, did you know that you had the votes? Because this seems like an incredible career-ending gambit if you didn't know if you had the votes. And he said, I had no idea if I had the votes.
And so what happened to Matt Gaetz in that, if he tries to do that and fails?
Well, his political career is certainly over, because the Speaker of the House gets to decide, what's the term? Whatever, like cabinet or whatever they call it in Congress. Like basically he can strip you of all of your jobs, like all of the things,
all the subcommittees and all that.
Yeah,
stuff.
subcommittees. Thank you. That's what I was trying to think of. So it was a total gambit. It was just a roll of the dice, and the Democrats, they voted in a lockstep against McCarthy, and that's what got Gates over the top. So anyways, the reason I bring all this up is to say that the spending on Ukraine is obviously needs to be authorized by Congress. So now that McCarthy's out, the whole reason they got McCarthy out is because McCarthy had promised to break up the spending bills into single standalone voting bills. Like they got to actually pick each voting bill, as opposed to these stupid omnibus multi-trillion-dollar boondoggles. And because of that, now you have this period where Congress, it looks as if they probably, if they put it into single spending bills, you probably can't get further authorization for Ukraine, because there's enough congressional people on the GOP side that will not vote for it. So I think this actually benefits Zelensky, because in this current congressional paradigm, under this current, kind of dysfunctional leadership period, there's a real chance that the only way that they can get this voted through is if they pair it with funding for Israel simultaneously with funding for Ukraine. So this could be to Zelensky's benefit, unfortunately.
Oh, interesting.
Well, can I say one more thing?
Yeah,
sure.
I'm sorry, Dan. No, I just wonder if Zelensky's like, the side chick now, because won't Israel be getting all the money now or something like that? And he's kind of left out there. We've given him all our ammunition.
I mean, they're still like, they can't just ignore him, because you want, like, I don't know if they're probably thinking from like a sunk cost perspective, but also they're like, there's still some strategic benefit. The problem is, America only has, they're testing whether they have infinite resources, but they don't. But they're really testing themselves.
We're gonna find out. We're gonna find out if modern monetary theory works, and we're gonna just all go bankrupt if it doesn't. Very fun times.
Yeah. Like I saw an interview today with Paul Tudor Jones. If you know who he is, he's like a really famous investor, and he was just he's like, this is basically the worst combination, because it's essentially like the worst financial standpoint that the United States has ever been in, and now they're like potentially going to be spreading themselves out even thinner.
This is how empires end, folks. Like, not to put it too bluntly, but if you're $33 trillion in debt and you have social discord, you have people that can't decide if they're male or female, and whether or not they should even be able to compete in sports with one another. I mean, it's crazy how dysfunctional we are.
The crazy thing is that number you just quoted was from like last week, and it's at like 34 now.
Yeah, it's like, did it hit 34 today?
It's like close, but I'm like,
it's like 33.8. Yeah,
or something. I mean,
we're on pace to put on $1 trillion a month.
Yeah, but you're literally quoting like a number from like a week ago,
right?
And it's like, and we've already like just tacked on, and like, but what was it? What was the number before COVID started? It was like 7 or something.
No. It was
or it was higher.
25. I think.
I thought it was. Okay, so I stand corrected then. I thought it was like. I thought they've really amped it up in the last like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, no, we basically put on $7 trillion in debt, I believe is the figure, which is horrific. Keep in mind, it took us, in American history, it took 250 years before we ever accumulated $1 trillion of debt. And now in my lifetime, we've racked that to 33. So it's becoming exponential at this point. And when you see exponential debt, this is my expertise because I was a mortgage broker. Like, once you see exponential debt, you're done. That's the end of the game. That's insolvency. That's bankruptcy. Or it's on the flip side, it's hyperinflation. So that's my gravest concern is that, obviously, if we're fortunate enough to avoid nuclear holocaust, well, we're definitely going to destroy our economy. The U.S. dollar reserve currency status is already in jeopardy because of our support of Ukraine with the BRICS alliance, rising up against the U.S. dollar. It's all crazy, man.
Yeah. And do you actually, because I hear obviously the reserve currency thing brought up a lot, and I often am just like, but what currency will be the other,
Well, that's what the BRICS are doing. They're creating a competing currency to replace their international trade that used to be established in U.S. dollars contractually. They're going to migrate it
and
to
it's gold based too, right?
Well, that's been the rumor. I don't know if it's ever been established and proven, but it is going to be some sort of semi-hard asset, whereas the U.S. dollar is pure fiat. So if that's the case, if I'm a global trading partner, I'm going to say, yeah, I'd rather contractually obligate myself to either be paid or particularly to be
that's
paid.
oil backed. That's an oil backed.
Well,
like
they were talking about backing it with either oil or gold or a basket of hard assets. There's been a lot of theories as to what they're going to do, but the BRICS alliance has also added in many other nations in the past 12 months, because what happened is the basically the IMF, World Bank institutions, they under the direction of the U.S. State Department, seized over $200 billion of Russia's central bank's assets that were held overseas. They just robbed them of hundreds of billions of dollars. Now, you can say Russia deserved that. Maybe they did. I don't know. But the reality is that when you're the reserve currency of the world, you can't just steal central bank funds of another nation because they're having a conflict on their border and then expect other people to trade in your fucking currency. Are you out of your mind? So all of these nations are looking at that and they're saying, oh, well, we can't possibly do business anymore in the U.S. dollar because we are at the mercy of complete global hegemony from the U.S. It's super dangerous. So that's why they're migrating away.
Hey, Danny, I want to let you go, but can I just say one thing to you?
Absolutely.
I want to say thank you. I won your $30.50 last week.
Oh, fuck yeah, man. Congrats, dude. Yeah, for people, I've been giving away all my Twitter ad revenue, which is not much.
You're like Mother Teresa.
I know. I've given away, I think I've given away $80 so far.
Holy shit, dude.
Yeah.
But not to seem like I'm too altruistic, you have to be a paid subscriber to get. So
that's okay.
Kind of comes out in the wash, but congrats, dude. I just want you to be on record, people, that I am giving the money away too. We got
as quick as possible too. And hey, Clint, this is like really cool. The only two people I subscribe to, I hit you up on YouTube with your channel over there, and I hit Danny up over here. So it's kind of a meeting of the minds right here, seeing this show. So
I appreciate it, man.
Cool, buddy.
Well, and for your audience's sake, I will follow you back if you subscribe to me on X or Twitter at Liberty Lockpod, but I will not give you my revenue. And yeah, you can kiss my ass.
Yeah, you ain't getting any of his fiat X bucks. I don't know.
Fiat X bucks.
My $80, it's gonna buy me a.
So have you been doing like with this in mind? Thinking that the end of an empire. Like, are you making any sort of moves? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, Like, is there anything you want to discuss or?
I mean, I can speak in vague terms
like
because I don't want people to rob me.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not like.
Yeah, no, I'm a hard asset guy and a Bitcoin guy.
Okay.
I think that those are, there's a real argument to be had that Bitcoin is kind of an electronic gold or replacement for gold as the hard asset, the central banking asset. So I diversify into that. I'm not a big believer in really any of the other cryptocurrencies. I think that they're all largely Ponzi's. There's a few that I think aren't Ponzi's, but I'm not at all convinced that they can compete with the network effects that Bitcoin has as the first arriver. So yeah, I think that hard assets are good for inflationary kind of death spiral scenarios. But on the inverse of that, I'm very concerned because of the Federal Reserve's breakneck increase of the federal funds rate from the zero bound up to north of 5%, which has driven mortgage rates from 3.5% all the way up to 8%. That we could see a repeat of 0809 where there's a deflationary crisis, in which case the U.S. dollar will be extraordinarily valuable and strong, and you would want to hold that. So I am diversified both ways, inflationary hedge as well as cash, so that I can be a player if deflationary spiral happens.
Shit goes down. All right. Okay, we got another call. One moment, please. Hello, next call on Low Value Mail. Who am I speaking with?
This is conspiracy extremist.
Conspiracy extremist. One moment, please. All right, you are on with Clint. Go ahead. Conspiracy extremist.
This is my guy.
Yeah, I know him. I know him.
I made it.
I know you well from Twitter.
You guys rock, Clint, my man.
What's up, brother? How you doing?
I got two questions for you. The one's a little gay, so no homo. But
No, be
first
gay,
question.
dude. It's cool.
Okay, all right, I'll be super gay. First question. All right, you've obviously been super successful with your real estate business. You've been super successful with being a podcaster in the liberty movement. What do you think are some key things you can identify that maybe principles that you live by that contributed to your success in two completely different industries?
Yeah, man. I'm just brilliant, So like I encourage
And humble.
Well, no shit.
I encourage everyone to be brilliant. All right, setting that aside, to give you a serious answer. I'm just extraordinarily passionate about what I do. I think that has been what has set me apart from, my competition, if you want to call it that. I don't really perceive it to, I don't perceive this to be a game of competition. Like, we're talking about a global market with a global audience, potentially. There's no reason to like cut people's, throats to try and win the podcasting game. I think that's been a terrible, that's been probably one of my least favorite aspects of this, is because I have been successful really rapidly. A lot of people that had been in the game longer than me, they kind of came for me, and I just think that's so sad, because many of them were my heroes. So
now, sorry to cut you off there. Just quick, because obviously you have a podcast like your Liberty thing, libertarianism. Do you see any like a big or any sort of like growing appetite for libertarianism, like demographically from outside of the United States? Because you must obviously have the the analytics and stuff. Because it seems like libertarianism is like, I have Canadian friends who are really into libertarianism, but like in Canada, nobody fucking talks about that shit. Like, it's like someone would bring it up and you're like, what? Like, it's honestly like nobody talks about it. But anyways, I'm just curious if you kind of see that coming from other countries. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm fortunate because I have a somewhat high profile Twitter account. So like I get followed by a lot of, foreign libertarian accounts. So I have like Spanish speakers and, a bunch of languages I don't even know, that follow me and, share my stuff. So, but yeah, to answer your question, very, straightforward, it's a very blossoming ideology, because what we're dealing with is a global kind of debt reset, where all of these nations have behaved in this, profligate spending fashion. And I think that what you're seeing with Javier Milei's rise in Argentina is the best example of this. That like the people, once they actually see what libertarians have been warning about forever, as it transpires, as it comes to pass, they go, "Oh, these are the guys that have been warning us about this. Now we need to get them into power to try and fix it." And that's why Javier Milei looks like he'll be the first anarcho-capitalist that has been ever elected to national leadership in the world. So yeah.
Is your worry, I was talking to Dave Smith about it, but like, is your worry though that like America, in order for them to get a candidate who's serious like that, needs to get to a similar point?
Yeah. I don't think
because like the interest rates in Argentina are like 100%.
And I think this is why I'm of the opinion that it could be 4 years, like the next, like 2028, like we could really be in a hyperinflationary, period where the American people finally say, okay, we're going to give, not Ron Paul, but one of Ron Paul's acolytes a shot here. So I think it's going to happen very soon.
Yeah, it might have
to. Do you want me to answer conspiracy?
Yes, please. Go
okay.
ahead. Sorry.
So yeah, be very, very passionate about what you do. And then beyond that, I think kind of the biggest asset I've had is just delayed gratification. I've always been been willing to kind of starve myself and work for free to pursue what I'm most passionate about, just assuming that I will be successful and that I will get paid off. The rewards will come later.
Essentially compounding.
Yeah, exactly.
You just allow the compounding to happen, essentially.
Yes, but I allow it both in my investment life, but also in my personal life. Like in my like podcasting is a totally different game, because you're trying to grow a profile on a national scale, so that bigger and bigger shows will invite you on. You can talk about whatever you're most passionate about, but you have to really you have to be fully committed to this and basically accept all offers. And I was willing to do that for 3 years, making no money, even though I was like a wealthy guy. I just kind of I shut down my mortgage company, and I was like, I'm going to just dedicate my life to this, and I believe that I can be successful in it, and it'll happen eventually. So that's, I think that's, it's trite, but like pursuing my dreams has been like the key to my success is that I'm just unafraid to go after it.
Yeah. And giving it some time to actually work.
Exactly.
I think
having patience.
I think that's a big one. I know, like, obviously,
as comedians, you should know that as well as
oh
anybody.
hell yeah, it's a long, like, podcast, everything, like it's not there, and everybody always wants to look at like the one podcast that like blew up in 3 months, and you're like, yeah, there's one of them, but there's the one. But
there's not a lot of money in this game until you get to the top 1%.
Basically, yeah. Anything else, caller?
Oh yeah. Yeah. One more thing. So I don't know if your boy Top's been called in because I've been at this work thing to shame you or harass you, but it's my duty with my 4th kid on the way. I got to tell you, man, as much as I respect you.
I know, until I have kids,
now
you can't respect me fully. Yeah, I know.
Reproduce, man. Let's spread this these little baby Clint.
I know, bro. I know. Hey, that's the next phase of my life. I'm just trying to like get established foothold in what I'm doing here. I mean, that has been the downside of pursuing what I'm most passionate about, is that I have definitely put my relationships to the back burner because I'm more driven for these other things, and I'll follow, I'll go wherever I have to pursue those goals, but that comes at a cost to my personal life.
I have an idea for you, Clint, because you live in Miami.
Yeah.
Right? All you need is a boat, and then you just start doing a podcast on the boat.
Oh, bro.
And then that's, dude, if anybody who goes to Miami knows, you get a boat and just like that, chicks just appear. It's so crazy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure. But they're not like the most marriage material.
Yeah, they're not the marriage material, but we're not talking about marrying. We're talking about reproducing.
Oh, he's had to spell that.
What's that?
No, I'm talking about married and kids, bro.
I know.
Yeah.
That's why it's I think it'll happen. I think it'll happen. This decade of my life will be the parenting decade. I promise.
Last statement, then I'm gone. You are passionate and you're working hard, but just think about if your kids are able to watch you do that, the example you're set for them. And that's what I try to do for my kids. They see me working hard every day, and I think that's beneficial. So
good, man.
Thanks, man. You rock.
Appreciate
it. You're the best, brother.
Later.
Bye.
All right. We're going to take another call. One moment, please. Hello. Thanks for calling Low Value Mail. Who am I speaking with?
Hey, I'm George.
Hey, George. Just hold on one sec while we patch you through. All right, you're on with Clint. Go ahead, George.
Hey, Clint. How you doing?
What's up, brother?
What's up, man?
Oh, my God.
How you guys doing?
Uh-oh.
Put a battery in your smoke detector. What's wrong with you, bro?
Was that what that was?
This is a Tower Gang bit.
Oh, okay. I was going to say.
Yeah.
I was going to say, what's up, George?
What's up? I'm sorry.
When do you want to fight Clint and where? That's all I want to know.
No, I don't want to fight Clint. I want to fight Ryan Dawson.
That's
whenever he.
I mean, dude, I'll say this.
Whatever
Ryan Dawson. I don't remember if this is on the show or if this is like when we got off. But he's just like, yeah, I'm going to Pork Fest, and he's like, anybody wants to fight me, like, I'll be there.
Beautiful. Look, I'll do it.
Yeah.
I'll do it if he wants it. But like, I don't have any animosity towards the guy. It's Tower Gang.
But he
that's
is like,
beefing with
I
him.
think I could be wrong, but I think he was like trained boxer and stuff. Like, I don't think.
I saw some footage. Saw some footage. He's. I'm not concerned.
Okay. All right.
I don't know. I'm also a boxer, so I don't know. So also, I think Pork Fest was but it was before that time. Like, it wasn't even. I didn't even realize I was hammered that night, and I called into the show. It was my first time ever listening to the show, and I said, "I'll fight you on Pork Fest." And then I messaged him on Twitter, and then I got blocked by him, and then made like 3 other Twitters and kept going at him. And then I looked up when Pork Fest was, and I think it was like weeks before that. It wasn't even.
Yeah, it wouldn't be till
Like,
next
it wasn't
next
even-
summer.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta wait
I think
till
it's next May or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never. Yeah, it was.
And he lives in like Korea,
Yeah.
so he'd be taking a long haul flight coming over just to fight.
Well, I thought he lived in Japan, and he's like, I don't even live in Japan. I'm like, you got kicked out of Japan too, and then he
He moved.
Yeah,
Yeah, he moved
yeah.
from Japan to Korea.
He wouldn't like to have you say that.
Yeah, I don't know. That's speculation. I don't know that he got kicked out of Japan or anything.
I don't think he did. I don't think so.
I think he just moved.
I think he got kicked out.
Dude, put a battery in your smoke detector. What's wrong with you? And pay your child support while you're at it. All right. Come on,
man.
I don't hear anything you're talking about. I have no idea what you're talking about.
All right. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna pick up. I'm gonna let you go there, George, because we got.
It's okay. I'll hang up.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have any minutes left. I'll see you later.
All right. Later. All right. Oh. Okay. Hold on. Hello.
Yo, it's just on a blunt. What's up?
Pimp on a blimp, Alex Stein. What's up, dog? One moment, please. All right. Alex Stein is on the show.
No.
Yeah. Primetime 99.
Yeah,
Alex.
Clint, Pimp on a blimp. Okay, a big complaint. What up, C-Money? How the heck do you know, Danny, like the inner drama of the Tower Gang and Ryan Dawson? And I didn't even know there was beef.
What are you on a boat? What's it so windy where you are? What's going on, man?
Oh, I'm in my headphones. I'm walking. Okay, but
okay.
Let me try to stand inside. What's the beef with Tower Gang and Ryan Dawson? What was that all
about? I had Ryan Dawson the week before. You were the last episode, Alex, and then the week before you was Ryan Dawson, and then all these Tower Gang guys like Ryan Dawson. Literally the first call of the night, someone called in. It's like, I want to fight your fucking ass, and then Ryan Dawson just like spiraled and was like just basically because I'm like I don't want this to be a podcast drama show. There's enough of those. Like, go on fucking Kevin Brennan's podcast if you want.
What was crazy about it is that
which I go on.
what was crazy about it is that the caller didn't even reference Tower Gang. Dawson just starts blasting away at us.
Yeah, I think so. Crazy. And then exactly. And then just like calls all throughout the night. People just want to like. I'm just like wanting to talk about 9/11 because it was like I think September 12th was the night of the show. So I'm like, I want to talk about 9/11, and then everybody's like, we're gonna fight your ass, and he's like, yeah, come at me, and I was like, all right. It just is what it was.
Yeah,
I mean,
Ryan's always been nice to me. I actually like Ryan, but I know he's super controversial. So like, I think he just kind of picks fights too for like everybody else. You know, he disagrees with people and he's like outspoken and he likes the conflict, which I'm very similar. So I can't really talk crap about.
Yeah, exactly. Honestly, I have no issue with any of that stuff. It's just that this is not the show. Like it's just, my show is not like the picking fights.
So you started the Tower Gang beef, Danny?
I did not. I don't start anything.
No, this is all.
But you facilitated it.
I facilitated it in the sense that I don't have a call screener, and I just literally pick up any call. So that I pick up a call, and the first call I happen to pick up. Yeah,
that's the charm of your show, though, is that there's no screener. Like you want the crazies to call in. It's fun.
It's called low value mail for a reason.
It's involuntary.
Yeah.
It's involuntary,
Alex, by the way, Alex and I were hanging out this past weekend, and it was his birthday, by the way. Happy birthday again, brother.
Happy birthday, Pimp!
Pimp on a blimp.
29 years old, 29. Bitches call, bitches hit my DMs. Okay,
someone just messaged in the chat, how's the training going? You're fighting Mike Harrington very soon.
I'm walking right now. I'm doing my 6
walking
miles.
for your training?
No,
dude, Mike Harrington is in the back of a butcher shop right now, punching the shit out of a cow carcass. I hope you're not on a
dude.
dude.
I'm getting less confident by the day, dude. And I said this to his face. Anybody that ugly knows how to fight, dude. And I'm like a supermodel. Like I could be modeling for Calvin Klein if I lost 35 pounds. But I don't like their political views.
Sounds like you're
that's a fact. I just don't like their political views. There's a lot of major brands I could model for. If they would just change their political views, then I would consider losing the weight. But that's all backroom deals. I don't want to really talk about publicly because of NDAs and such. But
sure.
Yeah, Clint and I were hanging out in Miami. It was crazy. And then I got in the cold plunge.
Oh yeah, that was hilarious. And I just wanted to say, I'm sorry that your Cowboys did exactly what I expected. The Niners are for real, though, brother. I'm sorry.
Oh,
what did I say? I said that for my birthday they were going to lose and get humiliated. I said that, and
you said they were going to get humiliated. Well, yeah,
he was right.
They did. Yeah, you were right, man. Alex Stein.
That's where I get my humiliation.
Alex Stein with the crystal ball.
That's why I let my wife have a boyfriend, because the Cowboys have humiliated me so long.
Dude, you should take your what's his name, your wife's boyfriend, and use him as a training partner.
Don Terrius.
Yeah, Don Terrius.
Yeah, I know. Well, I'm gonna get some footage with him. Him and I are speaking at. You remember guys last year when I got spit on at Penn State?
Yeah, I saw
guys remember
you.
that?
Yes, because didn't I see you immediately?
I went on
after
Tucker.
that? Yeah, but didn't I see you? Didn't you come to the Stand? Wasn't that your show at the Stand in New York was like right after that? You got spit on it was like a week later, right?
Probably. I mean, I was on fire last
Yeah.
year. That's when I went on my biological stepdad show, Tucker, and so
Why hasn't he brought you
going
on
back.
on his Twitter show?
He's only doing it one day a week, and he only has one guest. I
That's a
mean, he
good
used to have
point.
like literally
That is,
like
that
20
is a good
guests
point,
a week.
actually. Yeah. You gotta
You
get
times
yourself
that
in
by
there.
4 weeks.
You just got to be,
Not that
run for
hard.
president of Argentina, and he'll have you on.
Which I actually might do that. I might join the cartel, honestly. I'm just thinking about it. I'm trying to start the Gays for Palestine movement and really get it going. And just
That's a real movement. What do you
get
mean?
awareness.
Dude, if you,
That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to hijack it like BLM.
Yeah, I was gonna say like I made a sketch today, and then I was like looking for a queer there's that queers for Palestine people holding it, and then I was like trying to find it on Google, and so I searched it, and like literally 50 different signs come up. Like it's they're fucking all over.
Beautiful.
The place.
I love it, dude. That's what I love. That's the ultimate culture jam, dude. That's the ultimate like simulation is malfunctioning.
Yeah.
Clue.
Yeah.
But I love it. Well, all right. Well, I won't hog all the time. Clint, are you doing good? Clint drives a Corvette Stingray.
Nice. That's a nice car.
You know that, didn't he?
Yeah,
I know it
Red
now.
Interior.
Yeah, we took a picture in front of it. Dude, it just felt right to do like a 1990s rap album pose in front of my vet with you. It really, it's like it felt like my life had been completed in some fashion. It was great.
Have you owned a lot of Corvettes? I mean, that was like not a starter Corvette. That was like a top.
It's a starter for me, dude. As I was talking about earlier, the key to my success has been delayed gratification. So I drove a bunch of beaters until I got like 2 years ago, and then I spurged.
Dude,
I got the vet.
That car's nice. Is that car gas? I didn't even ask you. Is it electric? What is it? Like, why is it a Stingray? What does that make it? Is it V12 or something?
Is there an electric Corvette?
No, not yet.
Probably.
No, it's a V8, like 500 something horsepower. It's fastest, best car I've ever owned.
My friend had a Corvette, and I went for a ride in it, and it feels like you're in like a boat, like the way like the front.
Yeah,
end,
but
like kind of.
Well,
dude,
you were in an older one. I bet.
Yeah, it was an older one. Yeah, but it's like honestly,
no,
but it wasn't that
one,
old. This was like it was like a 2010 or something.
No. It said 2020 was the first year. This is a rear-engine Corvette. This is a fucking sports car of the highest order, dude. It's like a Ferrari. It's unbelievable.
Yeah,
it's insane. No,
the old vets did feel like boats, though.
But it was like the fastest car. I was like, holy shit, this is insane.
Yeah. No, they're fast, but like now it handles too.
The Teslas are fast as crap, though. I mean, the Teslas are fast as shit.
Well, Luke drives a
I'm
Tesla.
Not even pro, like,
Luke drives a Tesla, and I feel like we're probably off the line. He'd probably still be able to take me, but top end, he'd be in trouble.
Yeah.
There's electric cars. They're just like geared so tight or something. I don't know how they can get it going so fast. But all right. Well,
thanks for calling in
always
prime
a pleasure
time.
talking to you, fellas.
Glad we could catch you while you're doing some of your fight training cardio.
I'm nervous, dude. What if he kicks my butt?
You can't
butt,
say any of this. What are you talking about? You can't put this out there. What fighter is going on shows and being like, I'm worried? Or is this like a psychological tactic where you're like kind of mentally sandbagging?
Is it? That's what I'm saying. Is it a psychological tactic? Am I fully confident? No. I mean, on a serious note, though, every dog has its day. A blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while. Like, anything can happen in that ring. And I've been sparring, and I've been doing well with sparring. I mean, that's true. But, dude, I get cracked by smaller guys. And getting cracked in sparring, it does not feel good, dude. I walk home, and I have bruises on my body, on my shoulders, on my stomach.
You shouldn't be saying this in public, Alex, when you have a fight coming up, like, pretty soon.
No, because he's actually sparring. Like, I've never actually sparred. I just started sparring literally the last month. I mean,
I know that, but Mike Harrington likes getting punched in the face.
Yeah, see, this is the dangerous thing, Alex, is that like your life is going somewhere. Harrington, this is everything to him. This is the only thing he has in his life. So if you win,
he's got a newborn baby, but
that doesn't matter.
Wants
he's got a baby.
Harrington's life's not going anywhere, and
he wants
he wants this so desperately. So bring it, brother. Pimp on a blimp, elbow drop on his motherfucking ass. Let's go.
Do you know, are you like, oh yeah, so do you like listen to Gas? Are you familiar with Mike, Clint?
Yeah. I'm good friends with Dave Smith,
Oh,
so
wow.
like I'm down with.
Oh yeah, I didn't
guys,
even think. Yeah. Oh, see, like I don't really know Mike, but I like Mike too. That's
Mike's
making the fight harder.
Mike
dude.
Harrington's the
Yeah.
Oh, Mike's the man. He's just like his life is just going nowhere at all.
Yeah, I'm trying to make him like me a little
Sorry,
bit. But
I'm talking
serious-
shit on behalf of Alex. I'm trying to get the
Yeah.
animosity directed my
I
way
know.
so that he goes easy.
You're gonna
on
get
Alex.
Alex killed, man.
On a serious note, though, I mean, you know, if he has, it's going to come down to who has the longevity. But dude, I'm going in there, and I think his strategy is to gas me out. But I'll tell him my strategy right now. I'm going in there for blood. Like I'm not holding back. I'm pressing as soon as I get in there. I'm not dancing. I'm not. We're going as soon as they hit the bell.
You're just coming out
I'm
swinging.
throwing both.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just 1
That's what
minute
I'm
fury,
saying.
the same thing I give my ex-wife. Let's go.
Well, I know, and I think that's what he wants me to do. But like, that's my plan is to go in there and fight immediately, like a honey badger. I mean,
I love it. Dude.
I'm not going.
Yo,
I'm not
where's
going
the
in
fight?
there. I mean,
Where's the fight?
in Tampa. In
All right.
Tampa.
I
I mean,
live in
like
Miami. I'm gonna try and make it out.
Yeah, you should. I'm saying, if I get tired at some points, maybe I'll have to dance around, but I don't plan on dancing. He likes to get punched. I know I'm going to get punched. Like, I'm going in there swinging, dude. I'm going in there for the knockout. So
You're giving away too much, Alex.
It's just gonna
I
be
know
a
this
slugfest.
goes
I
against
just-
your ethos, but I think less is more with this stuff right now. You're giving away too much. You're
I
like,
know,
I'm
but
scared.
I'm-
You're like, I'm scared. He's gonna beat me up.
It
I'm
hurts
going
when you get hit. Did you know
that? He's like, it hurts. I cried a
well,
little
I'm saying,
bit.
even if because I know reality is even if I win, I'm going to get hit. I mean, that's just, I get hit in sparring. So I know it's going to be more than that. So even if I win, it's more for your ego. Because, like, you still hurt. It still hurts. Even the guy that got, Canelo wins a fight. He's still fucked up after the fight.
Hey, dude, I'll tell you what. I'm not fighting anybody, so you got more balls than I do.
Yeah, I know. And this is what I become, dude, a sideshow. Because I'm trying to get clout, dude.
This is what every YouTuber has become. Literally, every YouTuber now is you're just like, do you box? And you're like, what?
Yeah, but
I said anything about boxing.
slam-
What are you talking about?
I had a slam dunk deal with that DAZN thing, and I messed that up like an idiot. Now I got to fight Harrington, who can fight a little bit. Like I'm like, I was doing a pro fight. Now I'm doing an exhibition fight in Tampa, of all places, one of the craziest places on earth, fighting a guy that's like, where's Harrington from? New York? Some like New York, bald. He looks like a mechanic if he wasn't going to be in the podcast. You know what I mean?
Like a
he has
hitman
that like
for one of the New York mafia
That's
families.
what I'm saying. That's why he's so bald, because he already had his testosterone boost. Like he's got that old man strength already, So like, I know that, and I'm not, dude. I barely can grow a mustache. I'm. Like I said, dude, I'm a freaking Vogue model, GQ model.
I know you're really too pretty for the fight game, Alex.
Yeah,
I can't say the same
I
about
am.
Harrington. Harrington's one of those guys that like he could be 30 or 70, and like you really don't know.
Yeah, he's the guy that would have bought alcohol when we were underage because they would believe his idea is real because he looked so old. I had a buddy that looked just like him, Justin Roberts. And he wouldn't even have to get carded sometimes. We were 18, and sometimes they just wouldn't even card him. He looked so old. But
it's pretty good.
Yeah.
All right, Alex, we're gonna let you go, but good luck there, buddy. I'll see you on
what's
Monday.
the chat saying about the fight? Are they on my side? I'm not looking at it.
Someone says you fucked up. South Coast Horizon, you fucked up, Alex. Someone says Alex is gonna fuck him up. So I think it's split here. I think it's split.
50-50, huh?
Is there betting allowed on this? Is there any odds? Do you know?
If there is, I'm throwing the fight and getting rich, bitch. But I don't think there is.
Well, then that settles it. There will be no betting.
Don't bet on Alex Stein. Jeez. Good luck, brother. I'm rooting for you, and you have tremendous height and reach. Just pop that jab, homie.
Yeah,
Trust me.
I know. Yeah. All right, later, buddy. Alex Stein, everybody. All right, we're gonna keep this moving. Thank you again, Clint, for coming on here. We're gonna take a call right now. Hello, thanks for calling. Low Value Mail. Who am I speaking with?
Jerry.
Jerry. One moment, please. And you're on with Clint. Clint, this is Jerry. I feel like this is a bit.
Daddy. So I'm thinking about you, Danny. I'm thinking about you there, Clint, and I'm wondering which one of you boys is bigger. If you was going to fight, which one of you boys is going to fight and win?
Like each other?
I see you both.
Oh man,
Yeah.
here we go. Now I have to talk shit to my host.
You're very
dude, your fucking
strong,
fans are really
very-
teed up, huh? They're all just testosterone coursing through the veins. Everything's a fight.
Listen, I just got an idea for a fight, a venue even. It's in Florida, of course. There's no other alternative. But you could be the gator. You could be the gator and the eagle.
I don't know what you're saying.
I'll leave it up to you two. Well, one of you
who?
has to be the gator, and the other one has to be the eagle to determine who's going to fight in that that capacity.
I've met Danny's brother in arms in person and hung out with him at last year's Skankfest, but I've never met Danny, so I don't know size, weight, height. I don't know.
Similar height.
6'1"?
6'1", yeah, 6'1",
Okay.
6'2", 2.
Okay. Oh, 6'2"? Now I'm a little concerned.
225, 30.
What about that? What about
I'm
that
210.
Ryan Dawson guy? That fella from Japan.
He's
Strong-
balding.
He's a strapping fella.
He's balding worse than me. And he ought to shave his head. It's embarrassing that he hasn't.
He looks. I can't tell how big he is. Do we know how big Ryan Dawson is?
Ryan's about 6 feet. I mean, he would say he's 6'5". You know.
Okay.
Well, I mean,
185 pounds
manly-
shredded, but he's like
manly.
250
Have you
pure
ever
fat.
heard him talk?
Yeah, I've heard him. I've heard him talk quite a bit. Talk a lot of shit about my guys. It puts me in a rough position because I like Dawson. I don't want to talk shit to him, but
Yeah,
you come from my squad. Like, what am I supposed to do?
It's a tough one.
Gang warfare, you know.
All right. Thanks for calling.
Yeah,
Jerry,
so
was it?
You're not fighting. You're not fighting. Is what you're saying. You're not fighting.
We're not fighting. No, I'm not fighting.
No, I don't want to fight Danny. I like him.
No, my plus my insurance. So it's not my insurance isn't comprehensive enough.
I feel like if I were to just wager, I would say that Clint, you would go for the eyes.
You think?
You look like you're a man of few words and a lot of viral moves. You like to move in for the kill. You like to go for the
then I'm definitely not fighting. All right, Jerry. Thanks, man.
It's so bizarre because my career is podcasting. I'm a man of few words.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Going for the eyes. All right, let's take another call here. Hopefully less fight related. Hello. Thanks for calling Low Value Mail. Who am I speaking with?
Hey, Danny. It's the mayor.
The mayor. What's up, buddy? How you been doing? All right, Mayor. You are on. You're on with Clint. Clint. This is Mayor Aaron of Keensburg, Colorado.
Aaron Lamb, what's up, homie?
Hey, buddy. How you doing?
I'm good, man. How's it going? He's one of the handful of libertarian mayors in America.
Right? Do you know how many there are?
I have no idea. Not at
No,
all.
I was asking Aaron.
Oh, okay.
I'm only aware of one other for sure, but I think he may have ran out his term, so I'm not sure.
So you're the only libertarian mayor in all of America, and you're on this show right now? I feel honored. It's cool as shit, man.
Javier Milei
I
of
can't
Colorado.
confirm that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was hoping to ask Clint when Javier is going to be on his and Luke's new show.
Actually, Luke was in talks with him to fly to Argentina to interview him in person. So stay tuned for that. I don't know if it's going to happen or not, but Luke has been trying, and then Tucker Carlson kind of undercut him. He got it. He got the premiere.
Yeah, because you're like, he's like, well, I got Tucker Carlson. Why would I do anything else?
Exactly. He's like, oh, I could go on the biggest show in the internet.
When is the election in Argentina?
I think it's next year. I'm not sure when.
Oh, it's not. It's not for a bit.
I think. Aaron, do you know?
No, I think you're correct.
Okay. So a lot of fuckery could happen in between now and then.
For sure. Yeah. One good thing about Milei is that he wants to migrate to the U.S. dollar as opposed to their currency because they're dealing with such hyperinflation. So because of that, he may avoid CIA hit squads, which would be great.
That'd be nice of the CIA to spare him.
Yeah.
Pretty sick for sure.
That'd be cool.
No, it says general elections in Argentina are scheduled to be held October 22nd.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, that's right. It was the runoff.
Yeah, it's like in 2 weeks.
Awesome.
All right.
Well, then we'll find out soon. We could have an ANCAP president.
Less than 2 weeks to go. I'm just seeing the peso's taking some sort of crazy dive, and he's facing criticism. All right, well, that should be fun to watch. Aaron, sorry, go.
I was just gonna say I almost moved out to try and work with Aaron before my life got turned upside down with I got offered fifth chair position over on Timcast briefly, and then that didn't work out, and then I ended up working with Luke. But for a time there, I was seriously considering moving to work with Aaron.
To Keensburg with what is it, the Tiger Preserve or whatever is going on there?
I don't know about a Tiger Preserve.
No, Clint was considering putting his hat in the ring for the town manager position.
Oh,
Clint, Danny's
right.
is.
I'm well versed on this town
Danny's
manager
referring
position.
to the. Danny's referring to the wild animal preserve that we have in town, which hosts a couple, probably close to 100 different tigers and lions and different hybrids, including 60 of the Tiger Kings.
Well, you're the only Libertarian mayor in the world, so we're really relying on you to turn Keensburg into the greatest place on earth.
You
So
actually
please.
might be the only Libertarian mayor in the world. If you're the only one in America, surely you must be the only one in the world.
Distinct possibility.
Well, again, I don't want to put that out for sure. I'm not aware of another one. I'll have to double check the LP's website. I'm pretty sure they have a list there. But last thing I did just want to say, I think Harrington's gonna take Stein, unfortunately.
Ooh, ouch.
I mean,
Alex is not going to like that.
Dude, I've seen Mike Harrington fight a few times now, like Skankfest last year, and he's got that dog in him, like he's really.
Dude, you were at Skankfest last year? I was there too. Crazy. We didn't meet.
Yeah, that is weird actually. Yeah, I was there. But Harrington's got that dog in him. I don't know if you saw him fight last year, but
I did.
Yeah.
I was ringside, and he's got the dog in him. He's got quick hands for kind of out of shape little man. Sorry, I'm just talking shit. I don't even know why I'm talking shit to Harrington. I'm sure he's a good guy, but
no, it's Harrington, man.
That Alex is like my boy, so I gotta try and up him.
Yeah.
But the thing is that no one, I think, is really taking account for is he's a new dad. So he has that new dad strength. He was really heavy. He's cutting down. So that was a bulk. He's leaning down. I think he's going to come in hot.
Well, let me just defend Alex for a second. Alex is a big man.
Alex is a big dude.
He is
he's bigger than me.
Way bigger. Yeah.
He's bigger than me.
He's multiple inches taller than me, and I'm pretty tall. So he's a huge mountain of a guy.
Like whenever people wonder when they see an Alex Stein video and there's all these people like in his face and he's just got that shit eating grin on him, the reason is because he's way bigger than all of them.
Yep.
And
he's
they're
way
all
bigger, so he's unafraid. They're all Antifa, and he's just like,
exactly. And he's just like right in their fucking face. And the reason is because he's so much bigger than them.
And I will say this: Alex, like, as Harrington has the dog in him, but Alex Stein has no fear. That man is fearless. So yes, he's afraid in the lead up. I'm sure the anticipatory anxiety is going to be vicious. Once he gets in that ring, that's why when he says he's going to go, it's the same attack attitude he has with like his comedic routines and everything else he does in his life. So I'm confident he's going to bring it. We'll see.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, I look forward to seeing what the odds are. Well, Danny, thanks for having Clint on. Both you boys, it's been awesome. Have a good night.
Man.
Thanks, Aaron. Later, buddy.
I can't believe so many of these callers are people I know. It's cool.
Yeah. We have I have a lot of I don't personally identify as a libertarian. I certainly like a lot of things, but definitely a lot of libertarian. I've had a lot of libertarians on and viewers and stuff, and Aaron's a good dude. All right, we got another call. One moment, please. Hello, thanks for calling Low Value Mail. Who am I speaking with?
Hey, I'm just
there he is.
Flat earther.
Yeah. Resident flat earther.
Right,
You're on with Clint. Go ahead, man.
Hey, Clint, did you make it to Skankfest this year? I saw you last year. I didn't see you this year.
Didn't make it this year. Dave Smith didn't hook your boy up with tickets, so I couldn't make it out there this year.
That's too bad.
There's plenty of Danny's colleagues that didn't make it out there this year that I wanted to see, but it all works out in the end.
It happens. Me and you hung out actually. Me and you talked for a few minutes. I don't want to give away.
Yeah,
I
dude,
don't want to give away your name, but
No, it's cool, bro. Yeah, no, it's all good. Danny, he got to find somebody to fight. Danny's a big boy, man.
I'm not a fighter though.
Everyone is just trying to set up fights. This is so crazy.
That's literally what like this game is now with YouTubers.
It's the rattlesnake. It's that Puerto Rican. That Puerto Rican makes all these people contagiously violent.
You talking about Top Lobster?
Louis Jacob.
No, Louis Jacob.
Oh, Louis.
Top Lobster.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny because Top Lobster is Puerto Rican too. So like, there is something about Puerto Ricans and just like making the fight game happen when we don't want to do.
It's just what you do. It's just what you do, I guess. I don't know.
I guess.
Yeah.
But I had
go ahead.
Yeah, I had 2 questions for Clint. First one, I mean, not so much of a question, but with this whole Israel-Palestine thing, I'm of the position where, bro, I've been watching world conflict through the tube television since like 2001.
Right.
I'm at the point where, and I've seen the Israel conflict go off and on since 2006 when it was Lebanon. I mean, that's just the time I was alive on Earth. I'm at the point where I'm at the position I just want both teams to have fun. And
the team is having fun, dude.
Yeah, there's no fun here. There's no fun here.
Oh, no, I know there's no fun. I know there's fun, but this is literally like you see a sports game, you're like, it's like I don't have any dog in the fight anymore. Like this is, I mean, obviously, like I am of non-interventionism. Like I am of the thought that Israel is the 51st state of America.
Absolutely. I've always said that. That's the one thing where everybody's like,
Puerto Rico can kick rock. Puerto Rico can kick rock.
I've always said that too, because like I agree, like America should not give Israel money. Only for the express reason so that people could stop using it against Israel, because it's an insignificant sum of money. Like it's not even 1% of their GDP. It's like nothing. But then you're like, America does that for their benefit. Like nobody ever really, like America gives them money to fucking, have that access. I don't know. Do you know how many bases America has in the Middle East? They must have a ton. Like
I don't know. I don't know specifically in the Middle East, but I know it's, I think it's over 100 worldwide. So it's crazy.
I think it's like 180.
Yeah. I've heard different figures, but it's a lot. It's way more than necessary. I mean, it's clearly the global empire of the modern era, and I kind of feel the same way you do. I'm just pure non-intervention. Like the history goes back millennia. This is like blood feud type of stuff. It's vitally important that even though the CIA and the U.S. empire has played a major role in kind of fostering more bad blood, at some point we just have to withdraw. As Ron Paul famously said, we just marched in, we can just march out. Well, we just assassinated our way in. Let's just stop doing that. Let's just stop as soon as possible, and hopefully they can work it out.
Yeah, that's what most people agree. Now, I was about to say America's flag should be updated where it's like 50 stars and then the 51st star is like a white Star of David for the obvious implication.
Yeah.
But y'all guys were talking about earlier the Samson option. I think the Samson option is truly what keeps America being like, we got to keep paying child support on this baby mama we done knocked up. Like,
well, according to Dawson, they stole our nuclear secrets to create the Samson option. I don't take it for what it's worth. That's his.
And now they're sending another. They're sending another carrier fleet right next to Israel. Last time that happened, it was USS Liberty. That's
right.
Another question.
I doubt they're going to do another USS Liberty, but I'm just looking right here, and there's a base in Jordan. There's a base these are naval bases in Saudi Arabia, so they have ones nearby, like in.
But my more main important question for Clint, and this is something on more of a home side. So people like just normal Americans who just like are the whole thing of like they don't really get into politics and all that stuff, and you ain't really gonna get them to join your team talking about libertarian this and anti-government that. But all of them all concur and agree, like, they hate that their paycheck is being molested by Uncle Sam for income tax, federal laws, and for Social Security. And Social Security, as your friend and colleague Dave Smith, colleague of Danny's, because somehow Dave does stand up and it's fun.
Yeah, he's a Libertarian podcast colleague and a comic colleague, you know.
Yeah. But he said, like, he explained, like, basically how Social Security is a Ponzi scheme, because you pay in, you can't pull your money out, and they're like, oh, if you want to get paid out, you just need to make sure more people pay in, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, like, you can't have, like, a declining population with Social Security. Like, that would literally just fuck the whole thing up. But that would fuck everything up. Like, you know, you worked in the mortgage industry. Like, imagine if the population not even declined, just didn't grow, right? Like, the whole real estate industry is prefaced on the fact that there's more and more people, right?
Well, that and also the decreasing value of the dollar, because it creates inflationary pressure.
Well, that, yeah. But, you know, like, if the moment where you're like, well, we just have, like, places empty and, like, you know, that would put incredible, like, downward pressure on. Yeah.
Well, I mean, this is a big problem with depopulation across the Western world, is that, like, all of our economic systems are set up not in a sound fiduciary fashion. Like, they're all set up basically in Ponzi structures. So yeah, if you have a declining population, which bizarrely much of our political leadership is also, like, they come from this worldview of, we are overpopulated, we must decrease our population, but simultaneously they are the ones that have created these Ponzi's that stop functioning if you have a decreasing population. So it looks as if we're headed towards a real implosion on many fronts because of it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, with the whole thing with overpopulation, anytime anybody bring that up to me, I'm like, dude, don't say that word around me, because if you truly believe overpopulation is a problem, kill yourself, because the problem of 8 billion people begins with a single suicide. Like, if you, like, no, because if it ain't,
I mean, you're not wrong.
If it ain't gonna be you, it's gonna be go look at the places in the world with the greatest population growth. India, parts of China, Africa. Let's go round them up and stop them from populating. Because the pharmaceutical industry's been doing that already with the Indians.
I'd rather not force depopulation on the rest of the world either. Malthusianism is extraordinarily dangerous, and just for the YouTube moderator, our caller was using that phrase in jest.
Oh, this all parody.
It's like a hip hop term.
Yeah.
Slang.
Yeah, it's all hip hop. Yeah,
overpopulation can be fixed with humor, is what he was trying to say.
Well, YouTube moderators are part of the overpopulation problem. But back to the Social Security question. So with so many people realizing that they realize how much of their money, like, is being taken out of their paycheck for federal income and Social Security, and they're like, well, no federal employees coming up to work those hours that they take, but what will it take for, like, most of Americans to be like, you know what, I'm done. I don't want to pay taxes. I don't want to report taxes. I will no longer file. I'll apply for jobs, but you pay me, like, on, what is it?
Wait, what are you asking? What will it take for the American as a populace to just, population just stop paying taxes?
Yeah, and even
I mean,
for, like,
they have to. The problem is they'll never coordinate like that. You know, it would.
Well, I mean, what would be the first? Like, what would be the thing to introduce to the American populace? Like, hey, we know you're complaining about your check being, pilfered off the top.
I mean, it has to start on, like, 4chan. Like, there has to be literally, like, a 4chan joke starts going around where everybody's not going to pay taxes one year. And then, like,
man, I don't want to be dealing with those people.
Well, the problem is, it's a game theory thing where everybody's, like, worried that they're not going to be the ones. They're going to be like, well, everybody's saying they're not going to pay taxes, but what happens when people do, and then I'm the one who doesn't, and then I get fucked because I didn't, and everybody said they weren't, but they did, so.
Oh, exactly. And the state still has, a monopoly on violence and the printing press, so that they will be able to pay their IRS agents to come and round you up and put you behind bars. So unless it is, 50 million people, like they're going to try and arrest and jail you. And if you can actually get 50 million people that are willing to stop paying taxes, you can probably get the presidency. You could probably get a libertarian elected at that point. So I don't know. It's
yeah, I'm just saying I've got 37 years, something like that. So, Uncle Sam gave me back that money. I know that money ain't gonna be worth shit.
You ain't getting that money back, homie.
37. Yeah, I already know.
We probably won't even be using US dollars at that point.
Yeah, not looking good.
I mean, bro, I think we're gonna be finding slurs for aliens. But, that's what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, I'm not. All right. Well, thanks, dude. Thanks for calling in. All right, we got time for one more caller. Clint, tell people where they can find you. We're just going to wrap up shortly.
Yeah, at Liberty Lock Pod on Twitter. As I said, I will follow back any subscribers. If you guys want to support my work, that's the best way to do it. And then Liberty Lockdown on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Just search Liberty Lockdown. Tower Gang is also on YouTube because we're on like our third or fourth channel. It's a really fun show. We do that every Wednesday night. And then last but not least, We Are Change. The full episodes are on Rumble. You can see the first hour over on YouTube, We Are Change. And that's the show I co-host with Luke Rutkowski. We've had on Carl Benjamin and Obama's gay lover, Larry Sinclair.
Oh, you guys yeah, you guys had Larry Sinclair on.
Yeah,
whatever happened with all that? That was the weirdest fucking story.
I think he's telling the truth.
Just like some dude is like, yeah, I sucked Obama off, and then... And you go, okay. The guy's like the sketchiest past.
Yeah, he does. And I mean, he's clearly been, a lifetime drug user.
Yeah.
But like his
wild.
story.
Actually, you know what? Hold that thought. We're gonna take the last call of the evening, and then we'll finish that up. Hello, thanks for calling Low Value Mail. You are the last caller of the evening. Who am I speaking with?
This is Laura.
Hi, Laura. How are you?
Hi. So I really had a really vapid question.
One moment.
Basically
all right,
about
on.
Danny.
Yeah, go ahead. You're on.
Hey, okay. So I had a really vapid question, but it's about your eyes, Danny.
Yeah.
They're really spectacular and they're very sparkly. Are they natural?
Yeah, Laura. They are. Thanks.
Yeah.
Are there people that have fake eyes?
Well, no, because some YouTubers.
You think I have like
contacts?
Contacts, yeah.
Yeah, sometimes you just use extra stuff to make yourself look a little special. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes you have to look really good in front of the camera, and you really do look really good.
Thanks.
And I just wanted everybody to know that your sexy, beautiful eyes are totally natural, and whatever anyone says is just bullshit. And it's just kind of nice to hear that you've got a real thing going on with your eyes and your mustache and your
I must say that it's nice to have it's nice to have a real lady call in,
You know, I'm here for you.
Just a real one calling in. All right, Laura. Well, I appreciate the kind words. Thanks for calling in. All right.
What the fuck was that?
I don't know. I assume it was one of your friends.
No.
I don't know what the fuck that was. All right. I mean, the thing is the caller ID did say the same name, and I don't know how it works with Zoom, but like they have to set up the caller ID. I don't know. I just assumed I was getting fucked with. All right. Well, sorry. So what were we talking about? Yeah, we're gonna wrap this up very shortly.
We were talking about Larry Sinclair.
Yeah, Larry Sinclair. Yeah. And
yeah.
We'll go on this note.
Yeah, he took a lie detector test, but then the results he claims were like they were basically I think it was David Axelrod, like had interfered, but because
he was a lie detector test, he failed it, right? Or he was like or it was inconclusive or whatever.
Yeah, he says that he passed it, but they sent it like an analyst was paid off by Axelrod, which was like Obama's inside guy. I have no idea if it's true, but Sinclair says he is willing to take a lie detector test anytime, anywhere, as long as people will pay for it because I don't know if he has the money for it. So if he's full of shit, he is.
It's just so crazy that was like Tucker Carlson was like, here's like the former like Secretary of Defense, and here's like This goes Russian.
Here's the
like,
future president of Argentina.
Yeah, here's the future president. Here's like a former CIA agent. Here's a dude who blew Obama. And you're like, all right. Would you run out of people to fucking bring on the show? What is this? That you can tell though. You go like Carlson has a personal beef with Obama.
Yeah, I think so.
That was he goes. I'm fucking going scorched earth on a whole episode right here.
I thought. I mean, I love it because I kind of like shit stirring.
Yeah,
as you can tell since I do Tower.
Hey, I just got kicked off of Instagram for a few days for shit stirring. So
exactly. I mean, you're a comic. I can't believe that you're not allowed to make jokes like, especially jokes that are true. You know?
Oh, now you're asking for it. I mean, the problem is that there's no like some content moderator. I can't be like, but I was being sarcastic.
Right.
You know, they don't know. They just read.
Is there
a
drop down box where I can say I'm kidding?
Yeah, they read it and they go, this is fucked up, and then that's it. That's all
I don't think it is that fucked up though.
It's not.
It's like.
No, it's not.
All right. Anyways,
I'm bad with timing for stuff like that. I mean, I think I'm good with timing, but then people are like, "That you shouldn't. You give it a couple days." But then I'm like, "That's not funny anymore."
That's why you got to hit it when the iron's hot, brother. It's like comedy 101. You say the most galling thing in the moment. This is Ari Shafir's whole path to success.
Absolutely. All right, man. Thank you for coming on. This has been a really fun episode. People can find you. You already said Liberty Lockdown,
Liberty
Tower,
Lock Pod.
Liberty Lock Pod, all the things. Thank you for coming on. Guys, we got an after show starting in like 10 minutes or so. We're going to watch some videos. We're going to look into the Samson option. We're going to look more into the Samson option, some other things. Thank you very much. Clint Russell, you are the man. Good night, everybody. New episode of The Bathhouse tomorrow night, 10:30 p.m. I will see you all there. Have a good one.
All my shit heroic. Empathic abilities, yeah, my face be also stoic. Bleep, blow up, nigga, that just means I'm working. They see me as a leader, so that's why I'm Captain Kirkin. These tracks from the stars, that much is for certain. You can feel this hit if you up or if you hurt. I'm raising my stock, not talking my feet in some Birkin. Number Johnny 5, got a fucking short circuit. Bring the track to life when I spit phenomenally. When I hit, she feel that shit in her abdominals. These rappers make me laugh like comic view, they comically. You know I got a ball out, I hit the track running just like Sonic do. They don't want to turn on my light switch. Yeah, they was trying to get me on my hype shit. Yeah, they don't want to turn on my light switch. Yeah, and they tried to down me up some KO type shit. Yeah, they don't want to turn on my light switch. Yeah, now we pulling up fresh on some flight shit. They don't want to turn on my light switch. Yeah, they don't want to turn on my light switch. They don't want to turn on my light switch. Yeah, they was trying to get me on my hype shit. Yeah, they don't want to turn on my light switch. Yeah, and they tried to down me up some KO type shit. Yeah, they don't want to turn on my light switch. Yeah, I'm pulling up fresh on some